You shout out Soda TV too?
Show TV shout out.
Okay.
Soda TV.
Soda TV, what up?
Okay.
Soda TV want to shout out.
Welcome to Soda TV.
What's your name? Whatever it is.
Soda TV. It's Soda TV.
They gonna tell you, see, this nigga blew this nigga blew that, this nigga blew toll on this nigga blew did this here. Challenge them niggas, and you bet your bottom dollar on it. If Blue told on Elm Street nigga out here, go tell that street nigga to bring his paperwork and show you with Blue name on it that Blue put him in jail. One. I mean, bring one. Yeah, I'm calling them niggas.
Did you, when you viewed that recording, recognize the person depicted in it?
Yes.
Who is the person that was captured on the video recording, Charles McCormick?
My son.
What's your son's name?
Hakeem.
Welcome back to Soda TV. How y'all feeling today? No, I think it should be one of those hot days out. It's hot enough for me to go and get my positivity of grab you at least 2 bottles of water. Matter of fact, drink one before you leave the house. Take a minimum of 1 with you. And for real, a minimum of 2. Why? Because dehydration is real out here and you could save somebody's life with that extra bottle. So really take 4. But hey, enough positivity. Man, y'all know what it is today. Man, Ksoo was found guilty in the unaliving of that boy McCormick. And it just got layers to this. Not only this case, but subsequently today's video. So we got the first part we're going to touch on is Ksoo's dead. You know, we all know that he already was in the interrogation room telling on his son, right? And a lot of us thought, even Boosie thought that Boosie was asking for his information on Vlad TV, I believe, to write Ksoo dead a letter in hopes that he was going to convince him not to get on the stand on his son. But just like we all witnessed, his daddy mumbled the words, yeah, it was Hakeem Jr., my son. And that's his name. And that's how it is, right? But yeah, it was like it was hard for it to come out his dad's mouth, honestly. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Like, and for those of y'all who watched it, it probably hurt y'all to see it. And it's like, dang, that's crazy, man. He kind of brought life. He definitely did the walk of shame doing that. As a father, knowing what his responsibility to his son or daughter when they bring him into this earth. Look, I give my life for this child, and everybody has the same oath. Same with animals. We all animals. You feel me? Try to touch the child of a bear, a mama bear, or a daddy bear, and watch what happens to you. It's the same. So when you will never see a mother, you know, sacrificing her child bear. Never. So yeah, man, it kind of brings validity to the saying, y'all ever heard there's no honor amongst thieves? Yeah, this is, they need to put this, honestly, they should put that in a dictionary and then put this kind of as the picture that goes along with the definition. His picture for sure. Not only did everyone that participated in this unaliving of this guy Charles McCormick, everybody told except one person, that was ATK Scotty, I I believe everybody else gave testimony and got on the stand to bag it on Ksoo, right? To my knowledge. I think it was a girl that was said to have been a part of it that didn't get brought into the courtroom and all that stuff, I think, because everybody cut deals and they didn't. After it all was said and done, it hit my mind like they didn't want nobody but Ksoo. They let everybody cut deals on other cases, other murders, everybody has other cases. Like they let them cut deals up the a-hole for, look, the only thing they said under one person's deal, you can do anything, even basically lie, but you cannot say that Ksoo was not the Uter. That's how bad they got down on. Like it's crazy, man. I wonder what made him have that. He wasn't that famous as a rapper. I mean, they probably looked at him as, I don't know, they probably was getting tips in the streets that he ran the faction of ATK as the muscle. Because of course Young and Ace is the head, meaning the artist in the bag, but who is really out there laying that belt? You know, case. So I mean, that's probably how it's probably what they knew allegedly, you know, and this is why they was after him, man. When y'all know it, if y'all sat through this stuff, man, saw the same thing I saw. So Scotty was the only one, and they used science and forensic technology, like some real up-to-date scientific astrology, complicated mythology stuff, to like some stuff that you're supposed to use to try to find rapists and kidnappers and no, not even that, like terrorist, you know what I'm saying, people that's threatening the United States of America, like, but they use that to determine Ksoo's body weight, his size, his, you know what I'm saying, angles. It did some crazy angles. Like what I saw, I ain't never seen that stuff before. So just me even seeing it, I'm like, what the is that? He used all that on Ksoo? They wanted him with zero chances to escape. And they basically, it was funny, right? This is the funny part of it. His defense was standing on the fact that you already know they were standing on the oldest argument from day one. Look, that Uter is clearly not Ksoo. Ksoo is much taller and I think bigger. I think whatever their argument was with that. But after they heard this stuff with the science and forensic technology pointing out the shapes and all that stuff of Ksoo, they said they getting that, yeah, the Uter has no butt. You know what I'm saying? Ksoo got that badonkadonk. Yeah, they said Ksoo got for days. He got for days. You know, for real. Hey, Young Ace paid them a hefty sum, but yeah, they did what they could to, because it's really no lawyer could have really defended this, really, man. Like, you could try to say whatever you think you're gonna say, but it's just everybody nobody testified the opposite, saying that Ksoo wasn't, and it was somebody else. Everybody's pointing the finger. You know, even his daddy that didn't see it go down saying that it was him. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was stacked against him to be that way. Yeah, man. And just looking at his head when he seen that verdict. Ooh, we gonna get to that. But yeah, man. Man, that last piece of evidence, not last piece, but the part that I'm talking about is like, man, the lady that got on the stand, that was the friend of Charles McCormick, aka Buck. She was a friend of Buck's mom, and she was trying to, you know, get Charles McCormick on the right path, give him a job. And when this happened, when he was unalive, he was either at the interview or orientation, or it was his first day of work. I think it was his first day. But she bear witness on the stand to, yeah, Ksoo was out there awking Charles McCormick, and then when Charles left the building, right when he left, Ksoo getting that, ran up on him, and dismantled and totally disfigured Charles' whole body. You know what I'm saying? She talking about, I think she said his teeth was by the sidewalk or somewhere else. She talked about all his legs and arms being. Hey, y'all, check it out.
Charles was?
I did.
Now, how close would you say you got to him?
All the way to him.
And what did you see?
His leg was separated and half his face was gone. His teeth were on the sidewalk.
So yeah, man, that had to be. I'm just thinking about her seeing this, like that. Like, I understand all the other stuff, but the teeth being out, like he had dentures or something. Like, and then you gotta understand it had to be all toe up, blood all on the teeth and missing, and it's just looking like, dang. But how you get that many teeth to go on the other side? Mean that he, okay, so that part of his face must have been off and had his teeth attached. I don't know, man. He got hit with something crazy. But yeah, man, Ksoo goes on to get found guilty. I guess he thought that he was gonna beat it after all that was said. And it's crazy to think that you're gonna beat it with people saying all that. But they read the guilty verdict, and Ksoo was getting this.
Is it done? I think it's done.
Yeah, they might have heard.
And then
Alright, I gotta hit down.
And you could tell, like, just him, he looking, the whole look on his face was, he was thinking about doing the life sentence. You feel me? That never coming home look. Never ever, 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 never ever, ever. Off that Outcast. Forever, ever, forever, ever, forever, ever, ever. Yeah, forever, ever. So let's start off with 762. God, if you raise a puppy to bite and he bites someone, it's your fault. This dude is beyond a coward. You might know what you know on that one. Like he raised Ksoo to be a iller, and then Ksoo unalive someone, and it's his dad's fault. I can't blame that totally on Ksoo's dad. Just what I'm saying, because a guy ain't spending, regardless of his dad's influence, a guy ain't spending 100% of his time around his dad. You know what I'm saying? Ksoo probably spent the majority of, he's probably raised with, a lot of people like Ksoo's dad, illers, some of you been around people like that. They want their children to be tough, so they instill a lot of tough qualities. And Ksoo was probably, at his size and height, probably bullying people growing up, allegedly, or just in the streets. I can guarantee it, the environment, that Jacksonville, Florida, that's some tough stuff, man. That's like, it ain't neck and neck with Baton Rouge, Louisiana, or Chicago, but it's a little under there. Like, they gets it overly in Jacksonville, Florida. So being in that place, along with the way you're raised, what I'm saying? But yeah, man, his daddy doing that and pointing him out, that's a cowardly move. But y'all gotta understand too, like, a lot of people in these comments talking never been through nothing like this or nothing real, period. And they ain't thinking or living in the reality if they were faced with a life sentence. You know what I'm saying? And them people telling you they only want one person, and they can guarantee you will see daylight again at an age like that. You feel me? If you just say you 50 and up, regardless, and they saying, look, you already know yourself, you ain't really got, as a black person, we ain't got too many more years. We ain't got 20, 30 years in us. And like, they telling you they can make sure you see daylight, and in a nice amount of time. A lot of y'all can say what y'all wouldn't do, and like, everybody in this comment section ain't real like that. Like, I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, that ain't how I go. Like, I done seen it all. So, you know what I'm saying? Talk to you blue in the face. So we gonna go to the next. We got at Kolesio Kowalski 732. We just gonna say that type of name. He said his dad snitched knowing he eyeing anyway is crazy. Yeah, man, that's a sad, crazy truth. That is the truth. Also, you feel like since his dad is eyeing of an illness and all them health things that he made sound good on the stand. Like, I'm gonna tell you that about people that are in those type of positions. You gotta make it sound the absolute worst when you get up there. You know what I'm saying? And you out there doing drills and all this. You ain't that sick. But yeah. Chef Goyard 5636. Pops snitching after putting you in the field is crazy. Yes, that is real crazy, man. I thought that his pops was gonna get up there and like I thought his pops had mentally got through the fact that he was telling on his son when he was in the interrogation room, and all the time he sat up into the trial. I thought that he'd been came through. You feel me? I thought he's gonna get up there and just spit it out. But when they asked him who did that and who do you see in that photo that's running down Charles McCormick, you know what I'm saying? He said, my son, and gave his name, but it was a lengthy pause and like a swallow type of, and then he said his name slowly, like he ain't want to let it out, but he knew that was part of his agreement. That's his only way to get home. Man, not vouching for his father, or not saying it made it any better at all. But that's the last of the comments. And yeah, man, we finna get ready to wrap this thing on up. Yep, I done showed y'all how his dad did the walk of shame and how Ksoo did the nod of shame. And now we got part 2 of today's video, which would be addressing an old unaliving of a jeweler that came into town to see Boosie and ended up doing what they did, whatever they did, and then afterwards went to a dice game, and that dice game would be the last place that he was seen alive. Till then, he went outside to get to his car and he was unalived. Did he make it to his vehicle? He did make it to his vehicle. Was he unalived at his vehicle? Either way, that's how it happened. But that's what we gonna get into. Before I do, I gotta ask you kindly to hit that like button. You feel me? Like it on up, please and thank you. Go ahead, give me that, because honestly, I do need that for this to get in the algorithm, for people to be able to get a chance to see it, for it to have a chance to stand a chance to become viral, you know what I'm saying? Or anything like it. So please and thank you for that. Share this if you will. Definitely, if you aren't subscribed to this channel, right now is a great time to do it. If you want to wait to the end just to see if I earn it, I'll remind you at the end. In case you forget, last but not least, notification bell, keep you notified on every time I drop. Alright? But you should have hit that like regardless. Alright, man. Yeah, like I say, man. Dude, the jeweler was his name. He was out of Chicago, right? I think I'm on point. It was a Chicago jeweler, right? Yeah. Yeah, man. And like, I was thinking like, before the news, I'm thinking like, this a local jeweler. Like, he ain't, you know what I'm saying? He went down there to meet Boosie. Well, he was down there to make a custom piece, I believe, when Boosie did the interview. You feel me? I'm like, dang, dude, they ain't got all that money. Then they got the facts got to drop in, talking about millions of dollars worth of jewelry. That's just what he had on him. That ain't including what he got in the bank, what he got at home. That's what he bring out just to showcase the pieces that he showcased to get you to buy some of the other pieces. Like, dang. Yeah, dude was living a good life, man. They took whoever did that took, I'm sure he was I don't know if he was a father or a husband, but man, whoever he meant something to is missing out on a provider, capital P. But yeah, man, what I had to say about this, after you see everything lined up and you see how he spends all this time with Boosie, and you feel me? You just end up looking at it like every street ninja has a certain awareness, speculation, and a that sense of danger. You feel me? Everybody is not on the same level and the same height, but it's at least every street nigga at least got the smallest sense of danger awareness. You feel me? When you be seeing them, them see crowds and they getting that. You figure deal me. Need I say more? All right, let me move on then. So I found a media source that is not the biggest, so I'm not gonna say it's credible. I'm not gonna say it's not credible, but I will say it got a decent following, and you know, people was like biting onto it as news. But I just want y'all to see what they had to say, and then I'll be right here when y'all get back. Roll it.
That same Louis Vuitton bag Duke was carrying, the one holding over $1 million worth of custom jewelry? Yeah, that exact bag was found inside Boosie's own house. Let that sink in for a second. We're not talking about some mystery location or a random stash spot. It was in his crib, not with a friend, not at a studio, his home. Now, word on the streets is Duke actually told Boosie to hold the bag for him while they played dice. Cool. If that's true, that shows trust. But here's where it gets messy. Duke ended up dead right after that game. So why didn't that bag ever make its way back to Duke's family? Why wasn't there a police report, a statement? Nothing. That $1 million bag just sat at Boosie's house like it was his. That's one massive red flag waving in plain sight, and it doesn't stop there. Now we got another piece of the puzzle. Duke's phone, gone. Vanished right after the dice game. Nobody stepped up, nobody knew where it went. But the feds? Yeah, they ain't clueless. Every smartphone leaves a digital footprint, and when they ran the data, it didn't vanish into thin air. The last ping? Boosie's recording studio. Let that sink in. Not the street, not a hotel. His studio. So unless that phone grew legs and walked itself over there, somebody in Boosie's circle took it. Or worse, someone tried to hide it. The studio was the final location before the signal went dead. That's not just sloppy. That's either bold or careless, and either way, it's looking real bad. Boosie told police that Duke left on his own, and whatever happened afterward, he had no idea about. But let's be real. With the whole trip centered around him and Duke rolling solo to meet him, the feds are not buying that excuse. Then just when things started to cool off, Duke's brother, who goes by Stax, stepped in with fire. He wasn't about to let Duke's name vanish without answers. Stax started speaking out, and what he revealed, it had people locked in like never before. Stax ain't sugarcoating nothing. He came forward bold and raw, said flat out that he believes Boosie set his brother up. No subliminals, no cryptic messages, just the hard truth from his side. Duke came to see Boosie, and not long after that, he ended up dead.
During the last 2 hours, we've been looking through a lot of social media posts about the
That don't sit right with Stax. And truthfully, it's not sitting right with a whole lot of folks watching this unfold either. Stax said he's been doing his own investigating, going through every clip, every timestamp, trying to piece together what really went down. And the way he sees it, Duke didn't just get caught slipping. He got lined up.
Now, my thing is, when I saw this, right, I'm like, boom. If all this is true, I'm like, okay, you know, this was your whether this was your man's or not, he came down to see you, right? You know what I'm saying? He was, to my knowledge, I think Boosie said he made him a custom piece, whether he did or didn't. Here's his bag. Whether it's a luxury bag or not, it's his. Why not give anything, whether it's a pencil that he held or had in his ear when he was with you, why not return it to his family? Whether it's his mother, kids, wife, girlfriend, why not give it to them? Call them for them to come and get it or something. Clearly there's a brother that's concerned, speaking out against Boo. You feel me? Why not? I'm sure he was calling and trying to why not give his stuff to his family? And then it's like, okay, the phone track to the last place with him and Boosie in the studio. Okay, cool. We saw him on camera at the little dice game or whatever. Then it looked like a little, I don't know, not no casino, but it looked like a little decent get up. And it looked like he left there and got clapped. But they talking about the last place. I guess that's the last place the phone pinged. I don't know, but either way, what we can draw from this as facts is that he spent when he was down there, Boosie had him down in Texas, right? Wherever that was. He spent 300% of his time with Boosie Boo. Okay? So, for Boosie to not feel that a man that came down there with millions worth of jewelry and that's probably worth 50 times that, right? We gonna give it a low number, 50 times that. So he worth around, we gonna say around, you know dudes like that is worth infinite because they can produce something that's looked at as exquisite and gold. Not only that, well they're taking gold and making things out of it. Gold itself is looked at as a high commodity and a statement. You know what I'm saying? I myself spent my last and all my cash on this, you know what I'm saying? So, and it can be looked at, some of us look at it as an asset, something you will have when and if you fall on hard times that you can use as leverage. So yeah, $50-100 million ninja, and he can't get nobody to walk with him to his goddamn car. Like, come on, man. Like, I made this comparison. I'm like, look, I bet you Boosie, one of Boosie ninjas that he got with him, that got about $42 in his pocket and about 3 squares in his box of cigarettes. I bet you Boosie got 3 to 5 of his security walking him out to his car every time they leave from around each other. Oh man, that's my ninja Ace, man. Look, man, make sure Ace, man, go with Ace. Make sure he good, man. Y'all know he at war. Y'all know people at his neck. Y'all know what's going on out here. And he got to make it home to his kids. Man, y'all roll with my ninja. Treat him like you treat me. So I'm like, it's just, that's why Boosie gotta know. That's why people is looking at him crazy. Like, how didn't you feel? You know, and you probably told him don't bring his security. Let's be real. I don't think I wouldn't even go with this little piece on my neck. Ain't gonna tell you what it costed. It costed some, but I'm not going without it secured. And yes, pay a security if I have to for that night, for that time being. You know what I'm saying? If I want to go out. So it had to be Boosie's recommendation that led him to not bring his own security. Boosie had to tell him that he was good and that he was securing them. So then the question becomes, why wasn't he secure from A to Z? He went back to his car, and then I don't know nothing that happened when he left. What you mean, yo? He left alone? Like, I bet the detectives and homicide was like, so You let this man that came down with all this money that you knew of, and he told you about it, and y'all discussed what y'all were going to do. You let him go to his vehicle in a foreign place alone. I bet Boosie was looking at them like, yeah. I bet they was like, man, this ninja here. Real rap. Like, but at the end of the day, do I personally want to see Boo arrested for this case? Nah, that's not my goal at all here. At all. I ain't on that. But I do know someone that does want to see Boosie go down for this and everything else. It goes by the name of his baby mama. Yeah, the one that took the stand on him and tried to get him locked up for allegedly unaliving her brother. You know what took me out though is Boosie shows up to the interview right after that Vlad did it, right? And like before that, I can't remember the last time I recall Boosie wearing glasses. But right after that happened, he did the interview. Right after the unaliving of Dude the Jeweler, he got on Vlad with them glasses, and like all of his answers was vague as H to the E to the double L. Like, yeah, so Dude the Jeweler was unalived, that he was with you, and then he went to his car and yeah. That's how he was looking. Yeah. Like, dude, got on these dark shades. Like, it's almost like you see fans all in the comments. He don't want nobody to see his eyes because eyes tell the truth. And, you know, and a lot of times fans be talking a lot of nonsense. And at times, you know, after cases happen and people get found guilty and you see the evidence, you be like, the fans knew everything the whole time. You know what I'm saying? But like I say, I'm not here to point fingers. I don't want to see Boosie arrested for this per se. You feel me? But yeah, man, that's crazy. I put this on here because it seemed like it was a update. For some reason, this, I don't know if people was just running content on this page, because I thought that it was a major piece of evidence that was being played in there. You know what I'm saying? They tried to make it seem like one of the Ooters was caught at first that looked like Lil Boosie cousin or his nephew, the one that he be having with the dreads with him. And then I got to doing the research, like, I don't think any Ooters have been caught linked to this case. So then I listened to it, and it was, you know, putting the stuff out, you know, this, you know what I'm saying, went on YouTube. I found somebody else that did I don't know if he considered it an update, but he touched on it about 5-7 days ago. So I decided to make a little follow-up, like, you know what I'm saying, is Boosie tied to the unaliving? You know what I'm saying? Or is it cap? According to you. You figure deal me? Because all of this is for you. You know what I'm saying? Based on your understanding, your consciousness of it. You feel me? And what you just believe wholeheartedly. You know, everybody got eyes to see, and you know what you know. You let me know what you feel about it down in the comment section. Along with that, I've been asking you to hit the like, so I believe that should have been done by now. You know what I'm saying? Sharing this. If you aren't subscribed by now, this is the last time to do so. You feel me? I done gave you everything that I can possibly give. And the notification bell is for you to be notified at a time I drop some of this hot fire. And yeah, man, this is the realest, illest, trillest celebrity news channel on YouTube at this time. It goes by the name of The Real Soda TV. I am your host, Soda, and I'm out.